And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday night wine stream on an exciting Saturday night and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and this is episode 98. We're getting there, folks. We're almost to the 100th episode, and you can see the bottles are piling up behind me. Those are all empties up on top. And the ones down the bottom aren't, but the ones on top are. We'll see if they'll all fit on there when we get to the 100th episode. We'll see if they'll all fit. We're going to give that a try. In the meantime, I want to welcome you to the show. This is Drink with Rick. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. I do have some show notes. They're right here next to me. I don't always follow them because, the show is not about me. It's somewhat about the wine, but this show is really about you and me getting together on a Saturday night, just kicking back, relaxing, and having a good time, just chatting with each other. That's what the show is really about. You drive the show. You are part of the show. So get in the chat and chat with me and chat with each other, and we'll make this a really fun show tonight. If you're joining me for the first time, we are able to be seen on live on Saturday night, and the rest of the week you can see it on the rewind on live on drinkwithrick.com. That's the website. That's the website right down there. And you can watch on Facebook. The Facebook group is Drink with Rick. You can also watch on YouTube. YouTube is Drink with Rick. Twitch is Drink with Rick 1, Drink with Rick and the number 1. That's on Twitch, and you can join in the live chat there when it's live. Also on Twitter via Periscope. We are on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is @DrinkWithRick. Who knew, right? Drink with Rick. Okay. Also, you can catch it on the website, as I mentioned before, drinkwithrick.com. Now, we don't have a live chat going there, but I do have a comment box, and when you're watching now or later, just click on the page, or the post for this episode that's streaming, and there'll be a comment box, and you can comment in that box, and I will respond in kind. Okay, you can also catch the website, the website. You can catch the website anytime, but you can catch the podcast. Podcast goes out every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern, that's when the podcast goes out. And you can hear it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, your favorite Android device, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon Music, Podcast Index. And you can also subscribe by email. If you go to the website and you go to subscribe page here, just click on by email, put in your email address, and you will get the latest episode of Drink with Rick, the podcast, as soon as it comes out, and no salesman will call. No one will bother you there. It's just to subscribe to the podcast only. That's all. Very cool. So this is what we're going to be drinking tonight. Before I get into that, actually, let me say hi to everybody in the chat. My good friend Ed is in the chat, and Anthony. Ed's signing on. I want to say it's great to see you, Ed. Please stick around. We're going to have some fun tonight, and I'm glad you're here. And my sister Gina's in the chat. She says, oh, you're funny, Gina. Gina says, I'm a new viewer. How does this work? Do you send us the bottle of wine for us to taste with you while you're doing it? You know what? If I were Elon Musk or somebody with plenty of bucks to do that, it could happen. You never know. You never know. But now these days, I'm just poor me. So, hey, send me a bottle of wine. And by the way, you can send me a bottle of wine if you want, and I will promise to give it a fair review. Just contact me at rick@savoymedia.com. I had to get that in there, by the way. But Gina, it's great to see you. By the way, Gina was one of the catalysts of this show. Okay, my sister Gina, she and my sister Penny were basically the catalysts for the show in the very beginning. So they've been here since episode 1. We're at episode 98. 2 more to go to episode 100, and boy, will that be a show. I've got something big planned. So hopefully you'll join me for that. And I'll talk more about the first episode later on, but let's go ahead and get into the wine, and let me check the other chats as well. Cam Bread's in the chat. It says hi everyone, or hey everyone, and hey right back at you, Cam Bread's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. Stick around. It's going to be fun. Anything going on YouTube tonight? Not really on YouTube so far, but we do get people wandering in from time to time. Oh, I got to tell you something about a video that I did for YouTube. I'll talk to you about that later. I'm pretty excited about that. as well. All right, so let's take a look at this wine. Um, this is called a La Paria. No, it's a Le Paria. Le Paria. That's what it's pronounced in French. Le Paria. Okay? Well, it could be pariah. I don't know. I don't think it doesn't have an H on it. And I hope it's not a pariah in the wine world. I don't think it is. But so I think it's called Le Paria. I think that's how it's pronounced. Okay, my French is terrible. It's, as my sister knows. As everyone knows by now, by this time, because we have done plenty of French wines on this show, and this is one more we're going to try tonight. It came highly recommended from my friends at Wine Store. I'm going to read the front of this bottle because it's hard to read on the front. So let me give a quick read. Oh wait, I tell you what, maybe I won't because it's in French. It's there's a lot of writing on that label, and it's all in French. And as bad as I butcher the French language, this would be just terrible. If any of my French friends, and especially on Twitch, want to come in and give it a shot, I would be most thankful. I would be most thankful for that. And let me look at the back. I think the back's in English. The back one is in English. My sister Gina says, my French is terrible too, so don't think I'm judging you. No, trust me, I'm not. I'm not. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to read this label here because this is most of it is in English. It says, Le Paria, 100% Grenache, it's a Vin de France. Vin de France. It's a 2019, and it says in English, maybe that's what it says in French on the front. Maybe it's in English on the back. You know what? I think so. It says, once upon a time, there were 3 lovely ladies, but they went to the police academy. But no, I'm sorry, wrong. Okay, not a Charlie's Angels fan. It's okay. Once upon a time, there was a grape variety that won very little praise in our home region. Some said too plain, others said not ripe enough or not suited to this terrain. But for us, it was just perfect. I see a little theme going there. The variety is Grenache, and the results are in this bottle. It is a really juicy and delicious wine to share with friends. A free drinker, so it's signed a free drinker. Imported by Lane Boswell Selections of Seattle, Washington. It's bottled by Maison Ventenac at 11610 Ventenac Cabarets. Is this right? It is a red wine, 14.1% ABV, alcohol by volume, and in this 750 milliliter bottle. And I think everybody knows about the government warning, so I'm not going to go through all that right now. But trust me, there are government warnings on this bottle of wine, as there are in most of them. So this wine is supposed to be very good. I've looked it up, and it gets a 3.9 rating on Vivino, and it gets some high marks on some of the other websites we've tried it on. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this quite a bit. Let me check the chat one more time. And, oh, that's a nice image and an emoji there from Gina there. That's cool. I like that. We have on Twitch here. So Camebred's here, and I believe Tom Antio is in the chat there somewhere. Camebred says, don't know any French, learning Mandarin in school though. Mandarin, okay, that can be a challenging language to learn from what I understand, but good, that's great. How's it going? Is it going pretty well? Is it tough? It's been tough to learn Mandarin, and that can be a challenge, I think, right? I don't think it's the most difficult language. Some people say English is the most difficult language, but Spanish is supposed to be one of the easiest. I think that's why a lot of people do Spanish language, in school, that sort of thing. They take Spanish because it seems to be the easiest one. I don't know if it really is. I tried to learn a little Esperanto back in the day. That didn't stay with me very long. So And if you don't know what Esperanto is, don't worry about it. I don't think anybody speaks it anymore. Cambridge says, pretty well so far. On my 4th year of learning, my teacher is really great. She makes it fun to learn. I think that's very, very important. It's really, that makes all the difference, to have a teacher that really makes it fun to learn. And I went through that when I was taking remedial math in college because my math was terrible. But that's another story for another time. In the meantime, let's go ahead and open this bottle of wine. Let's get right down to business. Oh, I almost forgot to show you the other thing that I have here to pair it with tonight. A little platter that my wife prepared for me, my lovely wife Chi. We have some steak here. I'm not sure exactly which kind of steak it is. We also have some chicken. This is a rotisserie chicken, and this wine is supposed to go good with grilled chicken. It really isn't so much grilled, but we'll give it a try. We also have some cheddar cheese, my wife's favorite cheddar, and a little bit of Swiss. I'm not too sure about the Swiss on that. And, of course, the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. And some crackers to clear the palate. And what's this big thing in the middle? Well, this is a dessert. This is, actually a bread. This is a pumpkin blueberry, or blueberry pumpkin. I don't know which way it goes. Gee, if you're in the chat, you can tell me which way it's supposed to be officially. Blueberry pumpkin or pumpkin blueberry bread that my lovely wife Chi made the other day. And it is really good. Of course, I love pumpkin and I love blueberry. And this should be a really good combination, especially with this wine, because I understand it's supposed to be a little on the fruity side. So let's go ahead and open it. And we'll use the foil cutter here, if it'll cut the foil. There we go. It was sliding around a little bit on top. This whole thing was sliding around. Okay, and to open it with, I have this brand new mechanical corkscrew thingy that my lovely wife Chi gave me for the holidays. This is a very easy one to use actually so far. And look, it comes out nice and easy. Isn't that awful? Awful. Isn't that awesome is what I was trying to say. Oh, awfully awesome. Isn't that awesome? Sorry, Chi. I was trying to say awesome, okay? Oh, good. I'll catch what for about that later. Okay, and I have my trusty Veneto aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set, which is available for purchase from Amazon. You can pick it up. You can actually go to my website at drinkwithrick.com and click on the banner up on top for it, and you can purchase it there if you'd like. There's no obligation. But if you do, I might get a few cents from it. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. It helps support the show. And of course, to hold the nectar, this nectar from France, I have my Galway. Let me do that one more time. There we go. My Galway genuine Irish crystal glass from Ireland, given to me by my employers at buy2wayradios.com. Now let's go ahead and pour a little bit of this wine in here. Just a little bit for starters. Let it have a chance to breathe. We'll swirl it around a little bit to get things started there. Give it a chance to breathe. And, oh, wow. Right from here, I'm getting a lot of flowery notes in this. Very flowery notes. Oh, wow, it is. Wow. We're going to give it a chance to open up just a little. So let's set it aside. While it's doing that, let's set it aside, and then let's find out a little bit more about this wine. But before I do, let's check the chat and see what's going on in the chat. Gina says, my experience with Grenache is that it has a bitter bite often from what they're saying. I'm hoping it's not got that characteristic. The bitter bite. Well, I hope it doesn't either. But I have had a few wines that are Grenache and Grenache blends. Blends tend to be a little softer. I know what you're saying about the bitterness in there, just a little hint of bitterness. Some people like that, some people don't. It kind of depends. It kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. But yeah, when they mix it with like a Grenache and other blends like Shiraz and things like that, it can really take the edge off that what you're talking about, the bitterness of the Grenache grape. And it also depends on how it's vented, of course. But Gina says, I love cheese plates. Very, very balanced. They are. She did a fabulous job. Oh, I got to tell you about that in a little bit. I will. If I remember, just remind me. Remind me. If you don't remind me, Gina, maybe Ed will, about cheese platter here from earlier this evening, because I've got a little story about that. I'm full of stories, aren't I? They're true. They're true, honestly. Okay, so let's find a little bit more about this wine. And I'm not missing anybody here in Twitch or on YouTube. I'm trying to make sure of that. I don't think there's any activity that's going on here in Twitter. Okay, so I went on Wine Searcher and I was trying to find some pricing on this wine on Wine Searcher, and believe it or not, they didn't really have. Usually they'll have a list of different places where you get it and what the prices are. They didn't really seem to have a whole lot of that there, except they did give a median price of about $11 for a 750 milliliter bottle. And so I was hunting around, didn't really see much. I went to Wine Store where I purchased the wine from, and it's listed there. And they actually have, if I can read a little bit from their website, they say and I'm reading this from the website at winestore-online.com, from the Cabardis region inside Languedoc, a little town called Ventenac in the rolling foothills of the Pyrenees. For France, this is warm climate viticulture, though it is not so different from the southern Rhone Valley, climatically speaking. So it's talking about where the grapes are grown, and they're saying, and I'm sort of shortening this because it's a bit of a long paragraph. It says the vineyard is free of chemical inputs and the wine has no added sulfites. It's aged only in traditional concrete tanks. So that's good to know. So there's a little more. I wouldn't necessarily call this, from what they're saying, I wouldn't necessarily call this an organically, vented wine, but it sounds like it's pretty close to it. So, and the thing is, it's a pretty high alcohol content, 14.5%. Pretty high for something with no added sulfites, so that's interesting. Because usually they'll put more sulfites in there, and then the alcohol content will be considerably higher than that. Although we do know that by the nature of the wine industry, the alcohol content is usually considerably higher than what they print on the bottle to begin with. So we'll see. Anyway. And that's pretty much all I found on this wine for the most part, except they had a 3.9 rating on Vivino. And Vivino lists it for $11.30 a bottle, and they say it's one of the top 6% of all wines in the world. So that's very encouraging. We'll see if we'll taste this here. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and try to give it a little bit of a taste now and see. I'll take a little whiff first, but it smells really fruit forward. But it also, wow, it's very, very, smells complex. A lot of flavors just coming up out of there, right on the nose. And little strawberry, both red and black fruits. Strawberry, and I'm getting a little blueberry in there because I love blueberry, and I know what blueberry smells like, it tastes like. And a little blackberry. And let's give it a taste. Oh. Wow. Bursting with flavor. Wow, that's, I want to say it's a little bit jammy. But, yeah, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry. It's a mix of, just like it was on the nose. It tastes like it smelled. It's a very, very, very fruity wine. I want to say a little peppery too. It's but it's not super bold. You know, would expect sometimes a wine like this to be very bold, with that would have so much fruit packed into it. But I would say it's a little bit on the medium side. It's definitely medium bodied. If you look at it, and the lights don't do it justice here, but looking through this, it's a medium bodied wine, but it does kind of have a median weight to it in the taste. It's there are tannins in this wine. There are tannins. It's not like it's not tannic at all. I would say medium tannins, but it is a rather smooth drinking wine. It's for a wine with tannins, it goes down fairly smooth. It is a nice dry wine, but the finish, I got to try that again. The finish was very, very interesting. Well, again, yeah, a lot more complex. The finish, what happens is it finishes with just like a really, really, all of a sudden, all these flavors come together and in the finish, and I can pick them out in the very beginning, but all at the end they just kind of go down, and it's a nice finish, a very smooth finish, but I don't want to say they all explode, but they kind of the flavors just kind of all, I don't know, come together and burst out all at once. You know, it's kind of like it reminds me. It reminds me if you put a handful of Skittles in your mouth and different flavors, and and you chew those up. I mean, yeah, you're tasting the whole rainbow all at once. That is kind of the way this wine finishes. You kind of put them on your mouth, and it's wow, you get a burst of that flavor, all the different flavors all at once. This is a very interesting wine. And you know what, Gina? I don't think it at least not to me, I'm not getting, it's dry and it's somewhat tannic, but I'm not really getting the bitterness in it that you'd be concerned about. At least not for me, not right now. Well, maybe as it opens up and we get down in the bottle, maybe I'll start tasting that. I don't know. But I'm not really getting that right now. I'm not really getting... It doesn't seem really bitter. It seems fairly smooth and just a lot of wonderful flavors. This has a kind of the fruits and everything else. I'm getting a little pepper in here too, and some other spices that I haven't really been able to pick out yet. But the combination, maybe that's a little clove. Yeah. Going down, maybe it's just a hint of clove. But it kind of all comes at you all at once, and because of that, I guess maybe I'm overwhelmed with all the different flavors at once, so I'm not really getting any bitterness per se. No, it doesn't really taste that bitter to me, but it's whoa, gotta have some more of this wine. And I think I will as we get down farther into the bottle. So Gina says, agreed, it can soften it in a blend. Yes, that's true. And Gina says pepper is always good. Yeah, this is peppery. It's a little peppery, not bitter, but it's peppery, and I like it. I like it. I could see it going pretty well with several different foods that can complement with the pepperiness of it. Let's see what else we have going on the chat. Pretty quiet so far. As the Cambred, how you doing over there? Chat pause. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to keep the chat going with the scrolling down, and every time I hit the scroll button, it pauses the chat. So if I missed anything, folks on Twitch, apologize for that. It's just me. I'm trying to keep up with it all. Trying to stay on top of that. I know I missed it last a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of felt bad about that because people were watching. We had a number of people watching in the chat and commenting, and I didn't really see them all right away. So anyway, where were we? Oh yes, let's go ahead and try to do some tasting on this. Let's keep it moving, right? Keep it moving. All right, well, the first thing we're going to try it with a steak, and this is a wonderful steak that my wife cooked for me the other day. Excuse me. Yeah, no, it's not coming back up, don't worry. It's just, well, a lot of flavors. So anyway, this is the steak. This might be a wine that goes great, that'll really go great with this blueberry pumpkin bread, but we're going to try that last. Let's try the steak first. I think this is really is more of a grilled chicken wine, I think. A good steak. And the steak is a little on the peppery side, so this actually might complement it fairly well. grilled steak. This might go good with it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a little peppery. It's not too peppery. The wine isn't, but it's a little bit on the peppery side. But the steak, because the steak is a little on the peppery side too, it seems to go pretty well with the steak. I'm going to try it one more time, be sure. But I think it's a good match, good pairing. I think. Let's see. In French wines, now French wines like this, like a Grenache, they'll generally, you're talking about a rich wine, pair with a rich food, and French foods are rich. I can personally attest to that. Yeah, I think it pairs pretty well with this steak. I think we'll clear the palate for just a little bit, and then we'll try it with the chicken. I think the chicken should be interesting with it because a grilled chicken is supposed to go well with a grilled chicken. This is really more of a rotisserie chicken, but I think it's also a peppery. It's not a lemon grilled chicken, like a, what do they call that, a lemon chicken thing, but it's they usually put a lot of pepper and spices in that too. So clear the palate a little bit, and let's try it with a piece of the chicken. And this is chicken from the local Harris Teeter supermarket. I'll put a little more wine in here, and give it a try. Chicken's a little on the dry side now, but it's okay. Oh, interesting. The chicken tends to sweeten the wine just a little bit. And this is a dry wine. This is not a sweet wine, but the chicken, I think, is probably what they put in the rotisserie. It tends to sweeten the wine just a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just interesting. Okay, well let's clear the palate just a little bit again, and then we're going to try it with some cheese. Let's try it with the cheddar. Now this is a cheddar that my wife gets from Trader Joe's. It's a very good cheddar cheese, by the way. It's her favorite cheddar, as a matter of fact, her new favorite. And I'm really liking it too. We've tried it with several wines. And let's try this. I like that. Good pairing. And this kind of a creamy cheddar. This wine makes it creamier, but it also enhances the cheddar flavor somewhat. And the cheddar cheese also complements, or I should say, helps the fruit in the wine too much. Now, if you're worried about the wine being bitter, which I still don't think it is, I think if you paired the cheddar cheese with it, I think that would offset some of that bitterness if it's something that you're tasting in the wine. I think this cheese would work out pretty well for that. Let me have a little bit of a cracker and clear the wine. Clear the palate. Don't clear the wine. Clear the palate for a moment. And let's try it with the Swiss. Now the Swiss, I don't know if this is a good. This would probably go well with some of the other white wines that we've tried here in the past. I love Swiss cheese. This is not a baby Swiss, by the way. I don't know about this wine. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, about what I expected. About what I expected. I don't think the Swiss is the best pairing for this wine. It's not bad. I just don't think there are other cheeses I would pair first. And my wife Cheese in the chat, she says it's a peppered steak, supposed to have pepper. That's good, and it works out really. That's why it goes well with this wine. Peppery taste in the wine, pepper steak. You got a match there for a flavor, a common flavor in both in both items that really kind of helps link them together in a way. And pepper is always good, Gina says. And usually, pretty much, it depends on what you're having the pepper with. I like pepper on a lot of things. I like pepper on my eggs too, and on my baked potato, which I had the other night with a steak. All right, let's clear the palate one more time. And we'll try it with the Gouda. We're going to try it with the Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda, double cream Gouda, I should say, from Trader Joe's. I love this cheese. It's one of my favorite cheeses. And of all the wines we tried this with, and we tried it with a lot of them, this cheese has never failed us. In fact, there have been a couple occasions where it actually saved the wine, if you can believe that. Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda, double cream Gouda, and it's good as always. Yeah, it works. Like with the cheddar, the creaminess of it mixes with this wine. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, so the Gouda wins again. I think actually the combination, the Gouda and the La Paria, the Le Paria, excuse me. Pardon my French. So, speaking of which, that's another story for another time. Anyway, let me check the chats one more time. CM Cinder's in the chat. Great to see you, CM Cinder. She says, I'm here and we have gingerbread cookies. Do you have gingerbread cookies? All right. Now, Chi was asking me, she says, we're going to make some gingerbread cookies later. You want to take some with you to the wine stream, and have some there? And I'm thinking, I'd love to, but I got to get right down to business here. And so I'm going to have the gingerbread cookies after the stream is done. I'm going to go down there and have gingerbread cookies. I've got to be careful. I do. But trying to watch the weight. And I do. I watch my weight. I watch it balloon every day. That's how it works. Cam Bread says, sorry, I've been distracted with my guinea pigs while listening. You have guinea pigs? Ah. CM Cinder used to have a guinea pig. I remember that. Very smart. You know, guinea pigs are very intelligent creatures. And, something else we learned about that I did not know about guinea pigs before we had one is that they're very sociable. They're very sociable animals, and they actually like being around humans. They don't mind humans, and they're very smart. My daughters used to, the guinea pig knew her name. You call her over to the cage, and she'd come over to the cage. She was very, very sociable and friendly. Although she'd get a little bit, frustrated if she was ignored for long periods of time. She would get frustrated with that. But very sociable animals. Yeah, very, very intelligent. So I learned a lot about guinea pigs during the time that we had one. So very interesting creatures. So where were we? Oh, yes. I'm going to add more wine. There we go. All right, I tell you what, we've got some birthdays. Let me get right into the birthdays because we've got some other fun to do. And then it's... All right, I haven't had that much yet. You know, we do have some birthdays and some national days, a lot of fun stuff, and an anniversary that I'm really really excited to tell you about. The dad joke night last week went pretty well, and for those of you who won prizes in the show last week for the dad jokes, those have already gone out. They went out yesterday. I was able to get to the post office and get them out yesterday. So they should be on their way. So anybody who's waiting for prizes from the New Year's show and from last week, those are on their way to you, just to let you know. Let's see, what else we have going here? Dad joke night was a lot of fun. And what's the difference between a bad joke and a dad joke? Just one letter, right? It's just dad joke is one letter off from a bad joke, and usually the two are synonymous, right? It really, I got a few more. I got a few wine jokes I didn't let loose last week. Maybe I can let them loose this week here in a little bit. What else we got going? Okay. Seam Cinder says, "Do you want one?" Well, not right now. I'll do it after the stream. After the stream, I'll go get one. Keenbread says, "Yeah, my guinea pigs like attention too." Yeah, they do, and if you're going to take care of guinea pigs, you really kind of you really need to have the time to spend with them, because it's something they really prefer. It's sort of like the dog. Dogs can be very, very needy, unlike cats. And I know my sister has a cat, or maybe a couple of cats, I think, right? And they're kind of, cats are very aloof and they do their own thing, but dogs, oh boy, dogs can be, they want your attention. They want your attention. And they get upset if you're not paying attention to them, and we can all attest to that. I can tell you that right now. So, all right. So let's go ahead and do the birthdays, the anniversaries, and such, because we have a lot to do. All right. Where are my fireworks? Fireworks right here. Here we go for birthdays. Excuse me. First birthday I wanted to toast is for my friend Jessica Kupferman. She is a fellow podcaster, and she works with Rebel Base Media, and I know some of the folks over there. She is also CEO and co-founder of She Podcasts. She Podcasts is a women's podcast community, but it's the largest women's podcast community out there. And they've done, last couple of years, they've done an event called She Podcasts Live, kind of a 2 or 3 day convention where all the lady podcasters get together and talk about podcasting. Kind of a version of Podfest or podcast movement, but with mostly, it's more women focused on women's podcasts. And they do a lot. There are a lot of fine podcasts done by women, and it is a growing area as well. So she is the CEO and co-founder of She Podcasts. I first met Jessica several years ago. I think the first Podfest that we attended, and so she's very smart. She knows her stuff, and she's very good at what she does. Anyway, here is to my friend Jessica Kupferman. This is for you. Happy birthday. Your birthday is today. Jessica's birthday is today, so I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, and may you have many, many, many more. Here's to Jessica. I'm going to toast you again, right? Jessica, happy birthday. Now, the next person I want to toast is my friend Lon. Their family, Lon, Matt Snyder's, they are part of the co-founders of Wine Store, winestore-online.com, who I frequent all the time. Gotten to know Matt and gotten to know the people at Wine Store. Lon's another person who's a friend of mine who has been watched the show many, many times. And Lon's birthday is also today. And I want to say happy birthday to you too, Lon. I hope you're having a great one. I hope you might be out and about. I'm not sure how you're spending your birthday today, but I know you like to get out and do stuff. And here's to you, Lon. Happy birthday. And I'll toast you again too. May you have many more. Happy birthday. I also want to give a birthday toast to my good friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey and I go pretty far back. I first met Jeffrey online in 2006. We were all part of the Tech Podcast Network, and he was doing. He's done a number of podcasts over the years, but he was doing a couple of his podcasts that at the time that I really got into watching a lot. And he's been very involved with, Todd Cochran and other people doing CES, covering the Consumer Electronics Show every year at this time, the CES. and then I was involved a little bit in that, behind the scenes and remotely, because I couldn't actually attend them myself because I had a young family and didn't want to fly, but I would help out remotely. But Jeffrey's been doing a lot of other things since then, and I think he was doing one. I think he's still doing it. This Day in Tech History, related to tech, a podcast doing that as well. And Jeffrey is going to be having a birthday on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, the 19th, is Jeffrey's birthday. And Jeffrey, I want to say happy birthday to you, upcoming. Don't want to miss your birthday. Here's to you, my good friend Jeffrey. Happy birthday. Here's to Jeffrey. Jeffrey Powers, my good friend Jeffrey Powers. There's another person who's also a good friend of mine, a very old friend of mine that I've known for many, many years. We go way back to Channel 35 in Orlando, WOFL. And he's been a good friend, really, really super nice guy. And he teaches and he does some other things, but he's a very cool guy, somebody that I always liked a lot. And his name is Phil. This is for Phil. Phil's birthday is the 20th. That's Wednesday. This is for my good friend Phil Bond. He's in the he shows up in the chat from time to time. He watches the show from time to time. I don't know if he's here tonight. I don't think I've seen him here tonight, but he might show up later. But he comes in from time to time. And Phil's a really cool guy. I like Phil. And I'll tell you what, he's aging a lot more gracefully than I am. He's got the beard and everything. He looks like a dapper professor now. He's aged very well, in my opinion, much better than I do. At least in my opinion, looking at pictures, he's aged a lot better than me. I should be so lucky with being able to handle getting older and still looking good. I tell you, maybe I should grow I had a beard when I was younger. I had a beard, and my wife told me to shave it off, which I did because I love her. But I was thinking, I saw a picture of him with his beard, and I'm like, maybe I should grow my beard back. And then, I looked at my wife and I said, nah, I guess I better not. Better not even try it. Anyway, here's my good friend Phil Bond. He worked in production in WFL, and a really cool guy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Phil, and may you have many, many, many more. All right, I also have an anniversary to toast. I want to do this now, get that out of the way, because I did have it actually scheduled for a little bit later too, but I want to go ahead and do this now because this is very, very interesting. My good friend Todd Cochran, who is the CEO of Blueberry, Raw Voice and Blueberry, and they do podcast hosting, and they offer a lot of services to podcasters. And he's one of the old guys, the old guard podcasters, who's been doing it since 2005. He started doing it about a year before I did. I was doing it in 2006. He started about a year before that, in 2005, and he really took it by the horns. Just grabbed onto to podcasting. He really took off with it. He did his show. He started off with his show, Geek News Central, and then he started the Raw Voice and Tech Podcast Network and Blueberry.com, and so he's the CEO of this Blueberry, and he's, as I mentioned earlier, he was doing the Consumer Electronics shows every year. I think he still does a little bit of that, but not like he did before, where he was actually going out there and doing on-the-spot interviews and all that kind of stuff. But he's been very, very involved in the podcasting space. He's very notable there. He's kind of one of the big guys in the podcasting space. He has quite a reputation. People know him. People in podcasting know him, and he knows a lot of people in podcasting. And anyway, he started his Geek News Central podcast early 2005, I believe, and I started watching it when I first got on board, when I became part of the Tech Podcast Network with my show, The Force Field, when I was doing the Force Field podcast. That was actually my second podcast, not the first one I did. But when I started doing that, and it really took off, and I was part of the Tech Podcast Network, what's known as TPN, and he was running that. And that's when I first met Todd, and I was watching his show, Geek News Central. And he talks about tech-related things. It was a tech show. And tech shows were really, really big then. They're still around now, but they're not as, basically the beginning of the podcasting space, tech shows pretty much took over that space for a while. So Todd has been doing Geek News Central podcast 2 nights a week for the last 15 years. And that means that as of this past Thursday night, he, which was the 14th, I believe. Was it the 14th? Yes. He celebrated his 1500th episode. Todd's 1500th episode of Geek News Central. Wow, that's amazing. I think that's amazing. There are not too many people. Now, there are a lot of people that make podcasting as long as he has, as long as I have, and longer than both of us, and there are a lot of podcasts that have come and go, they've come and gone over the years. There are a lot of early podcasters that are no longer podcasting the same show. They're doing something different. A lot of podcasters have pod faded. Todd has pretty much kept with it all ever since almost the beginning. So 1,500 episodes is a huge, huge milestone for podcasting, for a podcaster. And he reached that on Thursday night. And I want to give a special anniversary shout out and salute to my good friend Todd, because I know, being a podcaster myself for about 14 years, I know how much work it is to do a podcast and to do one that consistently for so long. And it's work. It's work. People think that, you're going to turn on the microphone and turn on a recorder and just talk and then that's it. Even this show, I do the wine stream every night. I get on Saturday nights and I do this, sometimes on specials. People think, I'll just turn on the camera and connect on the internet and there I go, just talk for a couple hours, and I shut it all off and go to bed. Nope, that's not how it works. Not how it works at all. There's a lot of prep. If you're going to do the show right, there's a lot of prep. There's a lot of post work that's done. Now, in Todd's case, I know he prides himself on not editing his show, so to speak, but and in fact, we had a conversation. He and I have had a conversation about it years ago about that, and he thought that I was really overthinking my show and kind of overdoing it with being so meticulous about my editing. And it was because of Todd, for a couple of things, because of Todd that I lightened up on that. And this was years ago that we had this conversation. But also, it was because of watching him doing Geek News Central, and of course a new media show that he also does with Rob Greenlee, another friend of mine. It was inspiration for me to do this show, thinking that, if I can do this without sitting here and being so meticulous about editing and everything and overthinking things, then I can do that. And it's worked out pretty well so far, and I'm having a blast. And I hope you are too. But anyway, here's to Todd. This isn't about me once again. This is about Todd. I want to say, Todd, congratulations. I am so impressed. And I think it's just a great milestone that you've done 1,500 episodes of your show. Just amazing work. I want to say, here's to you, Todd. Congratulations on 1,500 episodes of Geek News Central. You know what? I'm going to toast you again. Whether you're watching me or not, I'm going to toast you again because I think you earned it. Yeah, definitely earned it. Congratulations, Todd. For Todd Cochran of Geek News Central. 1,500 episodes. Wow. Can you imagine me doing this? 1,500 bottles of wine? Whew. Let's get to the first 100 first, okay? Let's get to the first 100. And then we'll talk about more later. 1,500 bottles of wine. I don't even, my liver will be pickled. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Such a milestone. So let's see, who else is in the chat? Hazy Phase is in the chat. Hazy Phase says hi, Rick, and hi right back at you, Hazy Phase. It's great to see you. Tell me what you're up to. Tell me what you're drinking, or what you're not drinking, or what you like to be drinking, or what you'd like to see me drinking. And if I can afford a bottle of it, I'll see if I can get a hold of one and drink it too. We'll give it a try. Fair and honest review, by the way. So we got through the birthdays and anniversaries. Let's talk about some national days. Let's just have a good time. Everybody get in the chat and let's just talk about stuff. You're steering the show. I'm just doing filler stuff, okay? I'm just filling in. This is all filler stuff. You guys drive this show. You tell me what you're up to. Tell me how your week was. Gina, tell me how your week was. And Ed, also, talk to me. How are things going with you? I want to know. Really. So, in the meantime, here's some more filler. National days. Okay, January 16th, which is today, for another hour and 7.5 minutes. It's January 16th is National Fig Newton Day. National Fig Newton Day. You like Fig Newtons? I like Fig Newtons. I love Fig Newtons, but I can't really eat them anymore because they got the little tiny, figs have the little tiny seeds in them, and I'm not really supposed to be eating things with really little tiny seeds in them. Not too good for me. I'm not supposed to be eating corn products and things like that. So I got to go easy on some of that. The doctor said. So I don't eat too many Fig Newtons, but I like Fig Newtons. National Fig Newton Day is today. Now, this is an interesting one. Today is also National Nothing Day. No, really, seriously. Today is National Nothing Day. I had to look that one up to find out what that was all about, and I did. I looked it up at nationaldaycalendar.com, where I get all these national days from. My friend Marlo Anderson is the CEO of National Day Calendar, and he puts these up for everyone to peruse and enjoy. National Nothing Day. I looked it up, and I'm reading this basically from their website at nationaldaycalendar.com. I have to give full disclosure, okay? National Day Calendar says about National Nothing Day, it says the observance was created as a day to provide Americans with one national day when they can just sit without celebrating, observing, or honoring anything. National Day Calendar only supports the day. Sometimes they may contradict themselves. National Day Calendar only reports the days. Excuse me. Sometimes they may contradict themselves. It says, in 1972, columnist Harold Pullman Coffin proposed National Nothing Day. The day has been observed in all its nothingness since 1973. The observance is sponsored by Coffin's National Nothing Foundation, registered in Capitola, California. Of course it would come from California. National Nothing Day in California. And there is a National Nothing Foundation. A National Nothing Foundation. If I've got a blank stare on my face, it's because it really is a blank stare on my face. National Nothing Foundation. Who knew? I don't know. I didn't know. I knew nothing about this. Seriously, a National Nothing Foundation. I've got to go Google this up after the show, not now. Wow, National Nothing Day. Okay, so here's the thing, though. If today is National Nothing Day, and it's also National Fig Newton Day, and these other days here. All right, we got other days first. Let's get through those. Today is also National Religious Freedom Day, January 16th, National Religious Freedom Day. It's also National Without a Scalpel Day. I don't know how that came about. I don't think I want to know how that came about, but it is National Without a Scalpel Day. So some doctor was in the operating room and he was about to cut in and says, oh, wait, I forgot my scalpel. I better go home and get it. I don't know. National Use Your Gift Card Day. Third Saturday in January is National Use Your Gift Card Day. If you have any gift cards that you've, I guess it's a really reminder day to remind you to use your gift cards. Because some gift cards do expire. Some don't, some do. And you know what? If the company that issued the gift card goes out of business, that gift card is definitely expired. So you want to use it. You get a gift card, use your gift card. I have several that I haven't used yet. There are a couple of them for restaurants that I think are actually shut down right now, so I can't use it. I don't know if the restaurant's maybe come of them. I think one of them is operating, at least. I've got to go use that card. National Use Your Gift Card Day. There we go. I'll drink to that. So I was going to say January 16th, it's National Nothing Day, and you're not supposed to celebrate any national days on National Nothing Day. And it's supposed to be the only day when there is nothing to observe or celebrate. Then why are we celebrating National Fig Newton Day, Religious Freedom Day, Without a Scalpel Day, and Use Your Gift Card Day? That's too much to think about when you haven't gone down to just about half the bottle. Okay, so now, tomorrow is January 17th. Yeah, I'm confused too. I'm confused too. January 17th, that's tomorrow, Sunday. January 17th, 2021 is National Bootleggers Day. National Bootleggers Day. I'll drink to that. But you know what else it is? It's also National Hot Buttered Rum Day. I should have told this story. I told the story last week, I think. I should have just saved it for today, but I told the story. No, it was a couple of weeks ago, I think. But I told the story about the first time I ever tried a hot butter rum with my dad, and I was underage, and we were doing an all-night fishing trip, and it was cold outside in Florida. I think it was like in January, and they brought out we had hot buttered rum, pretty good stuff. Here's the National Bootleggers Day and National Hot Buttered Rum Day on the same day. How about that? Two great days that go great together on the same day. Here's to both. And drink responsibly, by the way. Okay, so I think that's got it for the national days. I think that's got it for the national days. Let's have some open chat. Let's go back to the chat here for a minute. What's going on here? Tim's in the chat. Tim says, hi, Rick. And right back at you, Tim. Rich, I wish I was rich. There was a joke about that I told the other day. Well, that's okay. Tim, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. And how you doing? How's the family doing? I want to hear what's happening with you. You know, Tim's daughter, she's an Instagram influencer there. And Tim, feel free to put her Instagram. I think you've got two daughters there that are both doing some pretty innovative things now. Put her Instagram link in the chat. It's okay. I said it's host endorsed, so go ahead and put it if anyone else is interested in checking out her Instagram. I like to cross promote whenever I can. As a matter of fact, Tim, I was talking about you a few weeks ago when I was toasting you, by the way. And congratulations on what what you've been doing. And let's see, where was I going here? I had a stream of consciousness going, and my stream of consciousness switched streams, cross streams. Where were we here? What else we got? Oh, open chat. It's open chat. There you go. Tim just put it in there. Katie Bartlett. And please go visit it, subscribe, check it out. Very talented young lady. And so, Tim, you know what? As a matter of fact, Tim, I want to say congratulations on your recent accomplishments there. And, you know, one thing that we think we had a conversation about this sometime back, but I'm going to be upgrading this very shortly. As a matter of fact, to give everybody an update, I just got the last part that I need for my brand new computer that I'm going to be using for streaming and for video editing. And I'm going to be doing some more editing work with because I got some post-production to do on some films that I've been transferring, and I'm going to really be building this computer to use with DaVinci Resolve. And for those who don't know, DaVinci Resolve is quite a nice app for they don't call them programs anymore. They call them apps, right? All apps. I'm too old school, I guess. For video production, video editing, post production, things like that. It has one of the best. I would say coloring engines out there, in my opinion, and I think it's fine program. I'm still learning how to use some of it, but I think it's a fantastic program, and I'm going to be using it to fix up some of my old films with. Really like this program, and it's Blackmagic is as it puts this out, and they have a lot of different products that they produce also. Some of them that work with that work with DaVinci, and others that work with their whole suite of products for doing live streaming and video production and post-production and things like that. And I've had my eye on a couple of products. They're a little on the pricey side, but there are some that are a little more prosumer price that I can afford to add to this. And I'm looking at adding one of them to it, because what I like to do is I like to add multiple cameras to the setup. And with this new computer, I can do that with this with adding a couple of their products from Blackmagic. That I can do that and really kind of fix up my setup. So at the end of the season 2, which should be ending here in another few episodes, be the end of February actually. I'll be down for a couple of weeks. We're going to take like a 2-week break from doing the wine stream. Oh, don't before you say oh. Some people are going, hey, no. You still watching me? No, we'll be taking a break for a couple of weeks while I retool some things with the studio, get everything ready, and then add a few pieces of equipment to it as long as I can keep affording to do so. And come back with season 3 and really up the game here. Really do some things that I would really like to do with the wine stream. And Tim's been he's been a bit of an inspiration as well. So, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up for just a minute. Actually, Tim, if you have a link to the production company you work for, that would be great. You can let everybody know about that if you want to. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's spamming anybody here tonight, so it's good. Let me see if I can pull some information out, because let's see. I know I got off on a tangent, but once again, this is really what the podcast and the show is about, right? So we can pull it up for just a moment, because I kind of want to read directly off the site if I can. So yeah, I pulled it off. Anyway, well, it's not pulling up for me right now. Okay, it's not pulling up at the moment, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and tell you what I was going to pull up. Tim's okay. Canyon Couture from Tim. Oh yeah. Oh, Tim did put it in there. I'm sorry, it wasn't scrolling up. It did put it. I was going to say Adrenaline Films. Adrenaline Films is a production company based in Orlando, and Tim is. VP, right, of Adrenaline Films, and he was recently showcased in a publication for where they interviewed him and talked about the use of Blackmagic products and what he was doing with Adrenaline Films with his company. Very, very nice piece, Very nice piece. Proud of Tim, did a great job. And it was really well done, and they had some shots. I've actually been to the website a number of times. I've been kind of following what he's doing somewhat for quite a while. And you didn't know that, did you, Tim? I keep up with my friends. I keep up with everybody. So, and I've seen their facility grown and some of the things that they do there, and it's been a little bit inspiring for me doing my. Now, of course, I'm in a home studio and I don't have the money they do. I don't have the budget for that kind of stuff. But what I can do, it's been inspirational. So, Tim, I want to thank you for being part of my inspiration for that. Being part of the inspiration for me doing what I'm doing. I want to say thank you, Tim. And check out Adrenaline Films. You left the link in there. Check it out. It's very cool. A lot of cool stuff. Ed says, Gan Wilson on nothing. I hope I sent a link. If it's something else, oops. Let me see. Let me look at that link. What are we looking at here? It's a Pinterest link. Oh, is nothing sacred? Okay, let's see what we're looking at here. Pinterest link is nothing sacred. Oh, Gan, okay, right. Okay. It's nothing sacred. Tim says you're doing a great job. The wine stream looks and sounds great. Well, Tim, I really appreciate that, and especially coming from you, that is quite a compliment. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. I really am. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. So, yes, nothing. You know what? Also, Ed, a show about nothing. Of course, this could be a good time to watch a few episodes of Seinfeld, right? The big show about nothing. Are they ever going to do that? I think they were going to do a not a reboot, but a reunion show on Seinfeld. That never happened. I heard them talking about it, and then I never heard anything else about it after that. I never did. So I don't know if you have any more information about that. That'd be great. So getting back to there was something I was going to mention about that Gina mentioned earlier, and let me check the chat on Twitch first. I don't want to miss. Beast and Gaming's in the chat. And Hazy Face says, I have been drinking a wine from Austria today. Oh, really? A wine from Austria. What is the wine? I may be familiar with it. I have had, I know of some wines from Austria. Some of them are very fine wines. Some of them are a couple of them are wines that are way out of my budget. But what's the label? Beast on Gaming says, newly crowned champion of dad jokes, Beast on Gaming has arrived. Well, it's great to see you, Beast on Gaming. I'm glad you're here. And by the way, if you missed it earlier, I mentioned that the prizes for the dad joke nights and everything else that we did, they went out yesterday. Finally got them out. I had to wait a week before I could get down to the post office to do it because it's I've already talked about that before, my ordeals at the post office, but it wasn't too bad. This time it wasn't too bad, after the holidays and everything, the line wasn't very long. I just barely made it in there, though. I got there at just about 5 o'clock, and the lady, there were two ladies behind the counters, and one of them, as I came in the door, because I'd been standing at the door waiting to go in, but there were too many people in there to do the 6 degrees or the 6 feet of separation. And so I was waiting right outside the door and waiting for my turn to kind of actually step in where there was space. And as soon as I walked in the door, and I'd been standing there for several minutes, and when I got in the door, the lady gave me the stink eye and said, we're closed. And I said, yeah, but I'm standing here. And fortunately, the lady in front of me, she stood up for me and she said, he's been standing there waiting for a while, But that didn't stop the one lady from behind the counter from continuing to give me the stink eye. And I felt so bad that I was thinking, well, maybe I should turn around and go home and come back another day. But the lady next to me said, "Don't worry, they'll take you. They'll take you." And I said, "Okay." I stood there, and the other lady, she was really nice. She took it, and no questions asked, no problems. But the one lady on the other end, behind the counter, she was just like, give me the. You ever get that cold stare where the reason they call it a cold stare is because it almost really feels like it's cold. You know what I mean? You can almost feel that the temperature has dropped like 10 to 20 degrees and just around you. The air around you has just dropped 20 degrees and that's why they call it a cold stare. I guess, but it's just. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, it's getting a little cool in here, isn't it? But the thing is, I couldn't just walk out the door because I'd spent 20 minutes putting on all my PPE and getting everything ready and getting in the car, and then I couldn't drive straight there. I had to go around because the bridge, there's a bridge that's out from going from our house to there's a direct shot right to the post office near where we live. It's like I'm 2 minutes away, but they knocked down the bridge because they're rebuilding it, so you can't go that way. You have to take a detour all the way around, and so it takes like 7 or 8 minutes to go around, and then you have to do a U-turn because trust me, it took me a long time to get that post office, and when I get in the door, she's like, "We're closed." She was more like, "Hey, we're closed. Like, get out." And I thought, but I was able to get everything mailed. So your stuff is on your way to you. Stuff is on your way. By the way, this is what I had. I was giving away the dad joke books. I've got one here. Those of you who have already won one know that these are 500 plus dad jokes. I've got a picture over there. I'm not going to pull it up. But this is the other thing that I have. This is National Day Calendar. I think somebody got this. Who was it? Beast Gaming, was that you? I don't remember anymore. So the past week was such a blur. Beast Gaming, this is the 2021 nationaldaycalendar.com. Really cool. I like it. We have one. And I think I have another one here to give away as well at some point. If we'll do another on the 100th anniversary, the 100th episode. We might give away a few more things if I have any money left. If I haven't blown my 2021 budget, which is pretty much already there. Yeah. So, Ed says, day celebrating nothing. Bill Chessman's dad never bought any cartoons from Glenn Wilson when he was art director from Collier's. Oh, was he an art director? Oh, okay. Did not know that. He never bought any cartoons from Glenn Wilson when he was an art director for Collier's. So, where was it going here? Beast on Gaming says, I didn't hear anything about a calendar. Are you sure that's me? I don't remember anymore. He says, I certainly won't object, though. Somebody won a calendar. Who was it? No, it wasn't. No, you won the dad joke book. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, right? I think you won the dad joke book, and who was it that won the calendar? It was it was Barnstar. I think it was Barnstar that won the calendar because he had already won a book before, and he won the calendar. So that's what I sent him this time, was a calendar. So the calendar went to Barnstar. Excuse me. Sorry about that. My memory is I need more wine. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I got more wine. I got some wine jokes. I should tell you a wine joke. What did the grape say when the elephant stood on it? Nothing. It just let out a little wine. That's pretty bad. Okay, whatever. What do you call a wine hangover? A grape depression. Oh, well, okay. We'll pass on the rest of those for a while. All right. Anything else going on in the chat? I think I gave a shout out to Todd already. Let's talk about a couple other things, but let me talk about weather radios for just a moment, just for 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute, we're done. Weather radios. We are in the middle of the winter, and you know how big I am on radios, and how big I am on weather preparedness and disaster and emergency preparedness. You know that. Be prepared for anything. I came from Florida, full of hurricanes and tornadoes and all kinds of fun stuff that's not fun at all. And I learned the hard way to be prepared, and I don't want to make that mistake again, and I want everybody to be prepared. So get yourself a weather radio put together. Go to ready.gov, ready.gov, ready.gov. Look down the list of preparedness items. The government has a list of items to be prepared for all the various emergencies. Number 3 on the list, at least last time I checked, with a weather radio. I think number 5 or 6 was a two-way radio, so you have emergency communications during an emergency like that. Cell phones may not work. Telephones may not work. Two-way radio may be all you have left, but a weather radio at the very least, you can catch up on weather emergencies. Also, a lot of weather radios, they're equipped with same specific area message encoding technology, where they'll send over specific alerts for various other things, like all kinds of disaster alerts, flooding alerts, and let's see, what else we have on that list? Nuclear disaster alerts. Hopefully that never happens. Never know these days. Amber alerts. They let out amber alerts. They let out earthquake alerts. They send out silver alerts. Silver alerts is when the elderly people get lost or missing. So they send a lot of different kinds of alerts. So what I would like for you to do is, if you can, please put together an emergency kit to have it ready. Power goes out, the electricity, if your internet goes out, all that kind of stuff, have an emergency kit ready. Go to buytwowayradios.com. By Two Way Radios, we have weather radios and all kinds of two-way radios. Marine radios, ham radios, FRS, GMRS radios for consumers, 900 megahertz radios, business radios, radios for marine radios, airband radios, all kinds of radios, CB radios, all of that. Go to buytwowayradios.com. If you use the promo code WINESHOW, 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 at checkout, you can save 5% off your order. That's right. You can save additional 5% off your order on top of all the savings that you're getting there at Buy Two Way Radios. We have some of the lowest prices in the industry for radios. It's a great place to get a weather radio. Please check it out. Wine Show, buytwowayradios.com. Now, for full disclosure, I am the product manager for Buy Two Way Radios. I work for the company. I do not make any extra money doing this. Okay, they're not paying me to do this. It's just I've been able to obtain this 5% discount, so I'm not making any money at it. This is just something that I'm giving to you. This is for you as a viewer and a listener of Drink with Rick. Okay, having said that, having all that out of the way, let's get back to the fun. More fun in the chat. Let's see what else. Okay, so Ed says Bill Chessman's dad was the art director for Collier's. It's good to know. I never knew that. I actually did not know that. That's pretty cool. What else we got going on here? Kind of quiet in the chat. No one would have to scare everybody away when I was talking about weather radios. There is something that I want to mention for just a moment. I was talking about Tim Bartlett and what he does over at Adrenaline Films. Now, what I do is not anywhere near as prestigious or as high profile as what he does at Adrenaline Films. I do a lot of professional stuff there. But no, what I do is, as I said before, I work for Buy Two Way Radios. Parent company is Crick Adventures, but we have several websites. Buy Two Way Radios is one of them. And one of the things I do there, well, I wear a few hats there, but among the things I do there is I do all the product descriptions. I do all the products, and I take a lot of the products and learn the tech of the products so that I can write about them and put them up on the site and help support them. And I do the blog. I'm the primary writer. My boss Danny also does some writing with that, but I'm the primary author of most of the articles on the blog that you see there. A lot of technical stuff, a lot of product-related stuff, some promotional stuff, how-tos, tutorials, things like that. We also do the podcast. We have our podcast, as I mentioned before, award-nominated podcast. It's now in its 10th year. We've now been doing this. We're in our 10th year of doing the podcast, The Two-Way Radio Show, which is a show about two-way radios. One of the longest-running podcasts about two-way radios in general. Now, there are other shows that are about ham radios or some other niche like that have been out for a long time. But we cover two-way radios in general, walkie-talkies and things like that. So we're the longest-running show for that, the Two-Way Radio Show. And I host it along with, I co-host it with Danny, who's the owner of the company, the president of the company, and with Anthony Roque, who is the COO of the company. And the three of us have been doing this now for 10 years. And award-nominated podcast, proud to say. But that's one of the things I do is I write and co-produce the show and co-host it and edit it and all that other good stuff that we do with podcasts. A lot of work involved. But I also do all the videos. I do all our product videos and our tutorials and things like that. And we have a YouTube channel by Two Way Radios. You can go check out the YouTube channel. A lot of the videos, some of the videos feature Anthony. Some of them feature Danny. He's done quite a few of the videos that I've produced, or that I go back and I direct and do all the editing and things like that, and shoot them for him and do all the post-production. And he does stuff on camera with that. And then I do some of that myself. I do some of the on-camera work as well. So I host some of these and I do all the other things. Now, since the pandemic started, I've been doing this from home, and my home studio isn't just, on Saturday nights, I'm doing this. This is Drink with Rick. I'm doing the home studio. We're doing the Saturday Night Wine Stream. But the rest of the week, I'm doing other things in the studio. I will have areas. I have another area set up over here, another set over here. And it's not a very big place, but I have another set over here where I'm doing... one of these days I'll be able to have 4 cameras. I can turn around and show you everything. But I have one there that's set up for doing a lot of the product videos and tutorial videos and things like that. And I've got another set of lights over there and things like that. So that's what I do sometimes during the week. And then I have another computer off to the side there, the production machine, where I'm doing a lot of other stuff based, for production and post-production work and things like that. So this little studio, as small as it is, I cram a lot of stuff in it, and it shows. It's pretty full of stuff, and it gets pretty cramped. But that really wasn't where I was going with this. What I was really going to say was that the past week I've been working on a video for a new product that we have. This is a radio that is also, it's a mobile radio that can also be converted into a repeater. And I'm not going to get too technical about that. If you're not familiar with radios and don't know what repeaters are, I'm not going to get too technical on that. But it's a pretty big deal. And the reason it's such a big deal is it's specifically for the GMRS crowd, the people who use General Mobile's radio service licenses. And it's a pretty big deal, big news. So I've been working on this video for the past week, and I had a lot of technical problems, not so much with the video itself, but with one of the various other things, because I'm doing all this in a cramped space and had other things going on. And but I got the video finished, and we put it up on Thursday. And I'm really excited about this because when we put it up Thursday afternoon, and we had on YouTube, you can do a live premiere in the video, and we had a couple hundred views in just the first hour, and then it just kind of mushroomed from there. And when I last checked it today, 48 hours after I put up the video, we have over 1,600 views, 1,600 views in 48 hours, which is pretty big for a small company like ours. For the kind of videos I put out. Because these are highly technical videos, and it's a niche product, and it's a niche market. It's a very niche market. To have over 1,600 videos in 40 or 1,600 views in 48 hours and 100 likes and no dislikes in 48 hours. I think that's pretty big accomplishment for that. So I'm kind of I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Yeah, I'll drink to that. But I was very happy with it. My boss was happy with it. Everybody's happy with it. I think that's the end game there, right? And to sell radios. I think that's a big thing. But I'm really proud of that video. It was a big project. And here's the thing, though, is that what I'm doing here is I'm doing a video. It's not like I have a big budget to do all these videos with. I work on a very small budget. So our company's a little bit unique in the sense that we put out some pretty high quality videos compared to some of our competitors on a very small, limited budget. And we're able to do that. And that's basically because I maximize everything. I mean, I maximize everything I've got here to do it with. I think outside the box. It's not like I'm saying, I got to go buy a $500 this to do this with, or $250 this, because I don't have that. I don't have that kind of budget. I just make do with what I have. So, so to be able to pull the rabbit out of the hat, so to speak, doing these kind of videos, I'm kind of proud of that. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn a little bit. Sorry, but and like I said, the show isn't necessarily about me, but I am actually kind of I'm surprised, and I'm really happy that it's performing as well as it is. I am. So there's that. So I'm toasting myself. Anyway, so like I said, I want to hear what this is all filler, folks. Come on, get in the chat. This is filler stuff. This is tell me what you're up to. Beast on Gaming. Let's see. So Hazy Face, you tell me what the label is on that wine. What's the label on your wine? Let's see what else we got here going on. Ed's quiet. Everybody's quiet. And Tim, I'm sure you're saying, oh, you were doing a great job up until that last story about the video. Okay. Hope I didn't disappoint you there. A big letdown. Okay, so what else we have left here? Okay. I think that's pretty much all I got. Pretty much all I got. The rest of it's up to you, folks. And the rest of it's up to you. Wait a minute, there is one more thing. As Columbo would say, just one more thing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Columbo. My whole family's a fan of Columbo. We watch all the Columbos. We got a bunch of Columbo videos. Could talk about Columbo a lot. Did you know there's a Facebook group, Columbo Appreciation Group, and it's quite a large group. It's a very large group of Columbo fans. Did you know that they even have Peter Falk, who played Columbo? So 69 episodes. Did you know that Peter Falk has a statue in Hungary? I think it's in Budapest. But in Hungary, they have a statue of Peter Falk as Columbo with his dog, which in the show, in the TV show was called Dog. And so it's got Columbo and dog sitting there in the middle of, I guess it's in the middle of the square or whatever in Budapest in Hungary. And they've got that there, and which is kind of cool. Who knew that it was big? The show was big in Hungary. It's big in the UK. From what I understand, it's bigger in the UK than it is even here in the United States. But it has been. I've been told that Columbo, the Columbo series has been run constantly, day and night without a break in this country ever since it started airing back in the 60s, and there has not been a break since then, and it still runs. I think they do wall-to-wall Columbo episodes. I think on MeTV does it on Sunday nights, and then they have wall-to-wall episodes on one of the other networked channels. I can't remember if it's Cozy TV or Network TV. One of the TV things. But never been a break in that show. Runs constantly, and they say that historically that's I think it's about the only show that does that. So it's pretty cool stuff. But Columbo, I mean, come on, Peter Falk was a class act, and Columbo was that's just a one of a kind, one of the greatest detectives, right? Whether it was real or not, Columbo, one of the greatest TV detectives ever, right? In my opinion. All right, just one more thing, as Columbo would say. I'm going to try this wine, this wonderful La Paria wine, and which, by the way, this is what it looks like, La Paria. All that writing up front is in French, but I think on the back end that I read earlier is really what it says on the front end, just in French. I didn't really study it, so I can read a little French. I just can't say it, and I can't speak it, and I can't write it for worth anything, but I can read some French. I didn't really study it on the front, didn't really realize it until the show started that this might be what it says on the back, but I'll study it later. But that's what it looks like. So anyway, that's that. Now let me go ahead and taste this, because I wanted to try this earlier. Let me taste it with the blueberry. This is the pumpkin blueberry bread, or blueberry pumpkin bread. I don't know. Gee, can you tell me which way it is? Is it blueberry pumpkin or pumpkin blueberry? Either way, there's pumpkin in it and there's blueberry, and it's bread. But it has a blueberry topping on it, which actually was my suggestion. I think, well, she said she was already going to do that, but I suggested that it needed icing. So she put this on it. Anyway, this is great bread. I like this bread, but I think this will go good because I was tasting notes earlier. I was tasting notes of blueberry, and I smell a little blueberry in this wine. So we're going to try it now. Let's see. I think this is going to be a winner. Whoa. Wow. It really, because there's blueberry notes in this wine and the blueberry here in this bread, it is, it's like not just perfect pairing, they enhance each other. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a perfect pairing. Now, of course, I'm eating from the top where the blueberry is, but let me try it in the middle here. Because I had a lot of blueberry in that topping. Let's try a little bit of that. Wow. Wow again. Oh, I love this. I love this pairing. This is awesome. I'll tell you what, if I'm not a diabetic now, that could drive me to it. Wow, that is awesome. Perfect pairing. This Le Paria wine with this pumpkin blueberry bread is just, it's to die for. I mean, this is great. Oh, I love it. I got to try this one more time. Okay, I'm sorry, folks, but I got to do this one more time. Just one more time. Let me try it. I really like this. Man, that's amazing. Oh. And, wine and desserts go pretty well with each other for the most part anyway. This is awesome. Oh, yeah. I like this. All right, the end. I'm going to finish this on. This is great. This is a great pairing. Wow. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Gee, you really need to put up your recipe for this blueberry. Now, I'm missing stuff in the chat. Ed says, I wanted to see the Dad Joke show last week, but there was a mini Fringe festival. It was mostly streamed, but I saw the one live show on Saturday. Well, I'm glad you were able to see it, Ed. I'm glad you were able to be there to watch that. So the mini Fringe festival was outdoors and distance. Now, if you don't know what Ed's talking about, Orlando has for many, many years, and Tim, you probably know about this, for many years, and actually it started back when I was still living in Orlando, which was way back now. when I was younger, before I even got married, I think they were doing the French Festival, and the French Festival was stuff where they kind of like everybody got together, and it was like, and some people would say, oh, well, it's geeks and freaks and stuff like that, but not really. I mean, it's just kind of like everybody gets together and has a good time. That's pretty much everybody gets together and does their thing. I don't know how else to describe it, because I could easily spend 20 minutes, which we don't have anymore. I could easily spend 20 minutes talking about the French Festival. Okay, but in the early days, they would do this parade down in downtown Orlando, and they would have all kinds of in the parade. Everybody could just kind of get in the parade and do their thing, and then have all these different groups and all this stuff going on. Like, for instance, I think it was, to refresh my memory, I'm pretty sure it was, I can't remember exactly the name they used, but I think it was it the Bob? No, it was the Freds. I think I said before it was the traveling Freds or the traveling Bobs or something. I think it was Freds, right? Was it Freds? But these guys, everybody named Fred in the area. Everybody named Fred would get out wearing suits and briefcases, and they'd get in formation and they'd march down the street in the parade. And those were the Marching Freds. That's what it was. The Marching Freds. And I think that's what it was, right? Am I getting the name wrong? Could have been the Marching Bobs, the Marching Freds, I think is what it was. And everybody would get in line with the same name. And they'd put on the suits and the briefcases to go on down marching down the street. And that was just one of the things they would do in the French Festival. You'd have all kinds of wild and wacky, fun stuff that would happen in this parade. And the French Festival kind of took off after a while and became an annual thing. It says started in 91, I think. Yes, I think that's about right. Because that's when I first, I think the first time I saw it was around 91 or 92. And it was just before I met my wife. Because it's a good thing, too, because if my wife probably wouldn't want to go down there to watch it. But, she might. We've been to Stranger Things. We watched Stranger Things, too. But we've been to stranger events. She and I went, of course, that was with the kids, too. We'd go down to Dragon Con. We've been to Dragon Con. We are full-fledged geeks. We're a geek family. We are a geek family. And yes, we've been down to Dragon Con several times, a number of times. I have never done cosplay, and neither has my wife, but we're a little, I don't want to say we're too dignified for that, because I mean, that's supposed to be fun, right? We're too stuffy for that, okay? We prefer to watch at a distance. But the kids have done cosplay before and that, and it's fun. It's fun to go down there, and we have friends that we go down there. Sometimes we've gone down there with friends or met up with them there at Dragon Con, and they have a podcast track going on there. And Tommy and I have been down there to do the podcast track a couple of times, and Dragon Con's fun too. But I digress. We're talking about Fringe, right? The Fringe Festival. So the Fringe Festival has been going on since 91. I think you're right, Ed. I think that's correct. A lot of fun and crazy stuff that goes on there. And they've really expanded it. I think at the very beginning it was just a parade, I think is what it was in the very beginning. And then they kind of expanded it to I think now it's like a weekend event or several day event now and things like that. I don't know. I haven't kept up with it lately because I live in Charlotte now. We don't do anything fun in Charlotte. Seems like nothing happens in Charlotte. It's all in Orlando. And, that's the other thing. As I tell my friends, my podcasting friends, that in Orlando, it's like when I started podcasting, I was living in Orlando then. And we left Orlando in 2007 to come up here to Charlotte. And after we got up here, then all of a sudden there was this huge, people started podcasting down there, and they developed this huge group of podcasters down there. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what did I miss? We left. It's like nothing happened down there until we left, and then everything starts happening. And of course, we're living in a place where nothing happens up here. Because that's fun like that. Yeah, they do stuff up here. Yeah, we got a football team, we got a basketball team, we got NASCAR up here. But some other really fun stuff that everybody can get into, because not everybody's into all that, football and basketball and NASCAR, there's other fun stuff out there to do. It seems like they do it all in O-Town. It's all done in O-Town. I'm talking to my wife, you ever think about going back? And she goes, no. I'm like, well, I guess we're stuck here. I know, look, it's not all bad here in Charlotte. It's just, I never thought of it as my home, per se. I live here, but I always considered my home really in Central Florida. I mean, there are things that I don't miss about it, but there are some other things that I do. And I miss a lot of my friends there, like Ed and Tim and other people there that, people that I mean, I pretty much grew up there. But, we're here now. Looks like we're here to stay. Unless we go somewhere else at some point, I don't know. I think we're pretty much here to stay. And so, I gotta learn to like it. Gotta learn to like where I am, right? Okay. I can live here, but I don't have to like it. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. For those stuck-up sticky beats in Charlotte who are watching. I'm just kidding, okay? So anyway, where were we? I think we're getting towards the end. I think we've overstayed my welcome tonight, right? Ed says the parade was spearheaded by Bob Morris, columnist, who is now a novelist. Everybody was welcome. I don't know if it was related to Fringe. He says 20 shows first year. 2019, there were 150. I attended 107 performances. Okay, that's good to know. I did not know they had that many shows the first year. I thought it was just basically the parade and like one or two events, kind of minor events. But I know that wasn't really well publicized the first couple of years, and then it kind of took off from there. But I did not know that Bob Morris formed this. Now, I know who Bob Morris is. Bob Morris was a columnist for the Orlando Sentinel for a long time. I used to read some of his columns, by the way, back in the day. So I didn't even know he's still alive, actually. So he's a novelist now. And so Ed, Bob, I'm looking over here at the chat. That's why Bob Morris is still alive then. I didn't know. He must be pretty old now, because I know he was kind of... I don't know if he was my age or not back in the day, but I know he wasn't a kid, that's for sure. Ed says last 1.5 weeks or so, 2020 was virtual. That I can understand that. Seema Cinder says it's been a pretty quiet day in general, methinks. Yeah, methinks so too. My chat was paused due to the scroll. Let me see. I don't know if I lost the chat there, or if it just stopped, or nobody's chatting. But, okay, so anyway, I think that's pretty much all I got, because I did try. I got to try this again. Goodness. Okay, I got to do. No, okay, that would be rude, wouldn't it? I'm going to finish that off after the show. So for those who are, there was something else I was going to mention. My sister Gina mentioned something earlier, and I was going to, I know that I had it in the back of my head. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she had mentioned something that I was going to mention later. Oh, the plates. That's what it was. She said that she loved cheese plates, very, very balanced. That was way back, very at the beginning of the show. And I had a little story about that, which I will regale you with. Okay, so my wife, she prepares these things for me for the show. She's such an awesome person. She's such a sweet lady. She really is. And she is very, very patient with me. And she puts up with all my foibles and all of my crazy ideas and projects like doing this. But she not only puts up with it, she supports me quite a bit. And I'm forever grateful. I'm not just grateful for her and thankful that she's here, but she's just so awesome in general. She's just an amazing person, and I love her very much. I'm not going to hide that. But she puts together these platters for me, and then she put together a really, really nice one tonight for tonight's wine stream that I was going to tell you about. So that was the story. She put together this really nice platter, and originally the platter, of course, is messed up now because I've been eating off it. But she put these crackers in the center, and she had the meats on one side and the cheese around the other side. The crackers, stack of crackers in the center. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. She's very good at that. She and T are both good at doing presentations with that kind of thing. So it was ready to go, and then I said to her, I said, "Oh, I remember there was one other thing I wanted to put on this plate." And she goes, "What?" And I said, "Last week I wanted to put on some of your bread, the pumpkin bread. She made some last week." And then I said, "This week you have the pumpkin blueberry bread. That is blueberry, by the way." Blueberry bread, and I wanted to try a piece of this with the wine because I think it would go okay with the wine. I think it would be a nice pairing, be interesting. She says, "Okay," and so she says, "Well, I can put some on." And I said, "No, I'll get it." Before she'd even had a chance to grab it, I had grabbed a big slice of this thing, and I pretty much dumped it on the side of the plate. And then I looked at it and I said, "Oh man, I just ruined her perfect presentation," and I could tell that she was giving me the icy stare. Yeah, well. And she says, no, let me do it for you. I can fix it. Let me do it for you. So she had a separate plate, and she put this on a separate plate. And I thought, well, okay, I'll take 2 plates up. But no, that's not what I'm talking about. She says, no, put it all on the same plate, and I'll fix this for you. And I said, okay. And so she went to some extra work. She went to some extra trouble to take on one plate and add this to it, and for a nice presentation. But that was me, it's the bull in the china shop kind of thing. And this is why she says, when I'm cooking, stay out of my kitchen. She says, stay out of the kitchen, because I'll make a mess of it. But she fixed it, and it looked really nice for the show, and I'm really, really thankful for her. Anyway, another long, boring story from me that was completely unnecessary. It says, Parade by Morris, Fringe was formed by SAC Comedy Warehouse. Okay, so it was kind of a collaboration there, collaborative. So Morris organized the parade. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. I did not know that, actually. So anyway, what else we got here? Nothing else. Pretty quiet in the chat. Beast on Gaming and everybody else who won prize, you should be getting them within the next week. Let me know if you don't. Email me or chat with me or whatever. Message me. Let me know if you don't get it in time. You should. It should be arriving shortly. With the USPS, I'm not sure how that's going to work out these days. And with that icy cold stare I got from the lady behind the counter, who was not the one who served me, but who knows? Who knows? Had me a little worried. He says, "Oh, yeah, he wants to send stuff out after closing time. I'll fix it." No, she's not going to do that. They're good people there at the post office. I'll try to make it up to her sometime on that. Next time I go in, I'll see. Anyway, so I think that's the show for tonight. I think I've way outlasted my welcome tonight in this arena. But I want to say that I've got wines lined up for the next 2 episodes, and I think I've got a good one lined up for the 100th episode. Please be here in 2 weeks. Or be here next week too, but be here in 2 weeks. We're going to do the 100th episode of Drink with Rick, with 100 and some odd bottles of wine on the wall, and I'm not going to break into song on that, but it should be interesting. And I've got some special things planned for it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think everybody will enjoy it. I'm hoping that everyone will enjoy it. Still working out the details on that, but hopefully you'll be there, and we can all get together and have a good time. Maybe we'll do some giveaways. We'll see. If I have any money left from all this that we can do giveaways with, we'll see what I can do to give away. Okay. So, that's all I've got. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I really do, too. It was a great crowd, and I really appreciate everyone. I hope I didn't miss anybody in the comments, in the chats. I really didn't want to miss anybody. I haven't really checked YouTube. YouTube's been kind of dead tonight. Whatever. Ed, I want to thank Ed for being here, my good friend Ed Anthony for being here and for being lively in the chat. I really appreciate you, my friend. My sister Gina, my lovely sister Gina. And you know what? One thing about Gina, as I said before, she actually helped me. She was really a catalyst of getting the show on, because she was there for the very first episode, brought a lot of her friends in, and we had a great time, and it was really well received. And I was very unpolished on that, because it was just something I was doing off the cuff. It was not a rehearsed or anything, like any of this is rehearsed. But she was really great about that, helped out, and everybody there said, "Oh, you got to do this as a regular thing. You got to make this a regular thing." And that's when I started doing it, and that's why I started ugly, as my friend Chris Krementzos would say. We gave away a few of those books, by the way. So Gina was very instrumental in not probably more than she realizes in helping me make this happen. But I really appreciate you being here in the chat tonight, Gina, always. And anybody else, my lovely wife, Chi. Tim, my good friend Tim Bartlett, thank you for being here. And anybody else that I missed on Facebook. I know there are people that lurk on Facebook and don't make themselves known and don't get into the chat. They prefer to stay anonymous, and that's fine. That's okay. But if you're watching, and if you're watching later after the fact, I want to thank you for doing that very much, because that means a lot to me. It really does. I'm not kidding. It does. And I appreciate it. I want to thank all my friends on Twitch for joining me here. KM Bread, thank you for being here, as always. And CM Cinder and Hazy Face, thank you for coming in. I didn't get the name of that wine that you were drinking from Austria, but if you have time, please pop it in the chat there. I'd like to check it out if I can. Beast on Gaming, thank you as always, my good friend, being in the chat. And for being part of the show. Anybody else that I missed? If I missed anyone else, I'm sorry. It's pretty much everybody that I see in the chat. If you are watching and in a chat, but you're not putting anything in the chat, let me know that. Just say hi. Just say hi to let me know you're there, so I can give you a shout out, because I really want to do that. And anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. I know there are people watching. And we have a couple of people watching we've got a couple of people watching on YouTube that aren't in the chat, but I want to thank you for watching me as well. I do appreciate that. And I can't see who's watching. All I know is that there are people watching. How many? So thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, because this is your show. This is not my show. This is a show about the wine. This is really your show, and it's our show. Just getting together, and if it wasn't for you, I'd be just talking to myself for a couple of hours, and I don't want, that'd be boring. It's boring enough as it is, right? No. More self-deprecating humor. Look, I love the wine. I enjoy opening the wine, and I love doing the wine. But the thing is that, I'm not a sommelier. I'm not a professional at this. I'm just an everyman like most everybody else doing this. And, I'm a wine enthusiast. I like wine. I love wine. And I'm a wine enthusiast. The more wine I drink, the more enthusiastic I get. That's the long and the short of it. And, wine improves with age. I improve with wine, theoretically speaking. So, by the way, did you know that wine doesn't make you fat? No, wine does not make you fat. It makes you lean against tables, chairs, floors, and lampposts. It does. And with that, I'll leave you. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun tonight. Please do not drink and drive. Drink in the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel room. You know the drill. Call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a friend, whatever. Please do not drink and drive. It's very important. Okay? Please do not text and drive. That's also something I don't like. Because I want you to have a great week, but most of all, I want you to have a safe week. So you can be here again next week. Join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.